Hey cousins, hope all is well. Hope you are practicing your self-care, taking care of your mental health, um, doing all the things, getting in them comments, paying attention to the community tab. I talk to you all over there as well. And do your due diligence, watch, like, comment, and subscribe if you can't do nothing else. Girl, what they got to do with wrestling is jumping off as usual. And everything I have to offer is in the About section over here, Wrestling Color Podcast. Let's go ahead and get into this topic of NWO because, I mean, what's pro wrestling without talking about old shit over and over and over again and everybody's heyday, right? Because the last remaining member of NWO is Kevin Nash because Hulk Hogan, he gone. Scott Hall, he gone. So, apparently, Rhea Ripley is now someone he feels would have fit in the original NWO faction. My. Did anybody remember what the original NWO faction was like? Just going off the way they act, their appearance. Remember, Scott Hall literally was acting like a California gangster like the black dudes. NWO came from NWA. Like, it's a whole thing, okay? Like, these white dudes was stomping around like black gangsters. But that's a whole nother conversation for a different day. What would people do without black folks? Kevin Nash believes Rhea Ripley would fit in his female member as one of the members of the original NWO. The original trio of Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, and Scott Hall would prove to be the most iconic iteration of the NWO over the years, despite many talents being added to the various versions of the faction over the years. However, when it comes to possibly adding a female member, Nash believes a megastar would have fit right in the stable. While speaking to the Wrestling Classic, Kevin Nash was asked about a potential female addition to the NWO, noting that he originally would have said Mercedes Moné. What? He said, but now it's Rhea Ripley. And I quote, I remember like when she was, when her Mercedes Moné and Bailey had that match in Brooklyn, I said that then that she was, a possible NWO member. He didn't say, they had to put this in quotes because Kevin Nash don't talk. If I read exactly what Kevin Nash said, you wouldn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He said, but now I might have to go with Rhea. Rhea might be a fit with the NWO more than Sasha. On a recent episode of Click This, Nash commented on the last royalty check he received from WWE, and that had nothing to do with this. But you want to know what he had to say before we dive into Rhea Ripley? Well, he said, when I was making huge money in my royalties, it was broken down. It would say NWO t-shirts, NWO women t-shirt. Now it says NWO intellectual property, and there's just a number, and there's no subcategories. It's just going to be a forensic accountant, and I'll fucking sue them. I mean, just the way it goes. It got weird when they sold. If you take all those guys and you cut that in half and put that back in their books, that's several $1 million. So he gonna sue WWE, y'all. He said, run me my money, bitches. Anyway, let me tell y'all something real quick. Mercedes Moné in NWO. Maybe now, because the way her wig is bone fucking dry, I think she would fit in perfectly. But he wants her to wrestle like she did in NXT TakeOver. He wanted her to wrestle like when she was back in the black and gold, hungry and didn't have no direction or whatever. He want her to wrestle like she ain't got no motherfucking money. Rhea Ripley in NWO would fit the aesthetic. But I wouldn't have Rhea Ripley talk. I would have her do more of a China-esque role and just walk around, looking mean and knocking bitches out. Kind of like Marina Shafir and what's the name of that the Death Riders. Why is that still a thing? Let me tell y'all something real quick. I turned to AEW to watch it. And the first thing that came on my motherfucking show this past Wednesday was Jon Moxley gonna be in a match. I couldn't even tell you he was gonna wrestle. The way he stomped and got in that ring and was all hunched over, I turned the goddamn channel. Show did. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Does these people not know that Jon Moxley is channel changing? Well, they know now because I changed the goddamn channel. Anyway, back to this. Rhea Ripley. Yeah, aesthetic wise, sure. I'm gonna be honest with you. The way the NWO was functioning and moving around, any woman that was added to that faction was just going to be considered getting fucked. Like, literally. You was better putting maybe, what's her name? Terry Reynolds. Get like a Sable character. Like, you need like a sexy hoe. And just run her around just to have a hot bitch. Anytime the NWO had a woman around, it was just like, we just got through fucking her. So why would you have Rhea Ripley in your stable? I would assume that y'all running trains on her. Because that's how NWO was moving. Maybe I'm crazy. But, they said that NWO was so, they weren't really fleshed out characters. So anybody could be an NWO. So here's a fun list if you forgot who was in the NWO and WCW. So we had AC Green of the Phoenix Suns showed up to a Phoenix taping in an NWO shirt implied to have been paid to do so by Ted DiBiase. Eric Bischoff, Elizabeth, she was in it against her will. Marcus Bagwell was the first to answer the open invitation. VK Wall Street, Marshiro Chano, Big Bubba, Scott Norton just kind of came out in the NWO shirt on the Saturday B show. Randy Savage had been wearing black and white for years, but I guess this was supposed to be a surprise. Sting started hanging out with them. I don't know, it feels like a swerve is coming. Nah, but Jeff Farmer is portraying a fake Sting here and later in Japan. Dennis Rodman, the Great Muta, Conan was in it. Cloudman and Paul Gilmartin, host of TBS Dinner and a Movie, apparently recruited when Randy Savage co-hosted. Rick Rude, Dusty Rhodes, Bryan Adams, yes, the singer, Scott Steiner, some guy, big biker guy, announced team, didn't seem to have any idea who he was either, just kind of stood around during the NWO segment. Oh fuck, it's Brutus the Barber Beefcake. They said the Wolfpack era begins, and then we have Lex Luger, Bret the Hitman Hart, Sting, for real. The Great Muta, Antoine Carr, which is a star forward for the Utah Jazz, the entire Cincinnati Reds, and that's because everybody had NWO shirts under their uniforms. So, I mean, anybody could be NWO. Hell, if I had to pick, cousin, if you had to pick a woman to be in NWO, do y'all know who I would pick? I would literally put Liv Morgan in the NWO. She looks like she's on drugs most of the time, completely tired and disheveled and haggard. NWO shirt would look fit perfectly. Remember those shorts she had on when she was telling Rhea Ripley that she don't got the body? Put them little coochie cutters on and some cowboy boots like Hulk Hogan used to wear with his spandex. Child, please, she would fit perfect. Again, let's not forget what NWO was about, the group's black and white brands and charismatic members, and focus on bad guys who were cheered by the audience made them a massive success and a key factor in the Monday Night War situation. This is where everyone said the greatest heel turn of all time. When everybody was like, oh my God, John Cena. No, it was Hulk Hogan when he aligned himself with the Outsiders. That was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Hulk Hogan came out and they joined and he turned heel in 1996. The core storyline was a hostile takeover established a wrestling order represented by WCW, and they were portrayed as lawless outsiders who broke the rules and were willing to do anything to win and take over the business. They blurred the lines between fiction and reality, creating a more realistic, rebellious brand of wrestling that resonated with that generation of fans. The us versus them mentality and the anti-establishment attitude were a huge cultural phenomenon, and the black and white shirts became a popular symbol. Key players, I already told y'all, and the legacy lives on. Before the group broke up in 2002, You put an NWO shirt on, you already know what somebody's trying to tell you. That they out here doing some shit they ain't got no business. Okay? Always the bad guys, and they make the bad guys look good. Whoop de whoop de whoop. I think the most popular guy, if you ask me, was probably Scott Hall. I mean, in the NWO, I think everybody enjoyed Scott Hall's cosplay of a Hispanic man. Hey yo, hey yo, hey. That reminds me when um what's his name? Al Pacino first foray as a Hispanic in Scarface, but I think he did a lot better when he played in Carlito's Way. I think he did a lot better because that accent in Scarface was absolutely atrocious. But I'm gonna leave it right there. Cousin, tell me what woman you would put in NWO. I said Liv Morgan. He said Rhea Ripley. But then he also said Mercedes Monet. So I don't know. Y'all go ahead and put your stable together, and I'll catch you on the next one.